I think this is the most interesting fight in MMA because I said earlier about Khabib. If you let him get close to you, if you give him time, he's going to take you down. He's going to destroy you. And what's the one thing that could beat him? As you said, every round starts on its feet. It's that explosive punch knockout. And that's what Conor McGregor has. And then you look at the other side of it. Conor McGregor's X factor obviously is that one punch knockout power. But his biggest problem is the wrestling. And Khabib is the best wrestler. So like Conor is Khabib's kryptonite. And Khabib is Conor's kryptonite. Putting them together, nobody knows what's going to happen in that fight. And that's what's brilliant about fights like that. Those are the fights we want to see. You know, like if McGregor fought Ferguson, and I'm kind of making my mind up here from the fight I said earlier, I think McGregor would knock out. You know, he'd take him down and submit him. Wouldn't be easy by all means, but I'd favour McGregor to knock him out. You know, lots of other fights you can favour ones. You might be right or wrong, but this one, you know what's going to happen, but you don't know which way it's going to happen. It's going to be a McGregor knockout. It's going to be Khabib taking him down and riding him out, destroying him. Like it's literally a 50-50 fight, I think. I really, really do think that because McGregor has that ability. It took Khabib Nurmagomedov, I think it was 54 seconds to get Edson Barboza against the cage. Then he broke away, and it took him maybe another 30, 40 seconds or something to get him down in the first round. Give Conor McGregor that amount of time to land a couple of shots, and he could do serious damage. Like, he's going to do more. As you said, Barboza, and I said it last week, this is not just big after the fact. Barboza's hands, and in general, Barboza is not a big knockout artist. Now, he has knocked guys out big, but he is a decision guy, a guy who'll beat you up and absolutely destroy you over 3 or 4 rounds, make great reads, and land big knockouts like that. He's not step back, land a left hook, knock you out in 11 seconds type of guy, where McGregor has done that a few times. You know, he's absolutely Eddie Alvarez up in a round and a half, could knock him out earlier. You know, that second Nate Diaz fight, he knocked him down, 3 times in the first 6 or 7 minutes of that fight. He is one of those guys that could make it pay early on. And even, as you said as well, he is a guy that, like with Chad Mendes, can get taken down, can get destroyed for a round and a half, then get back up and knock you out after that happens. But he's also a guy who, as we saw against Chad Mendes, who can get taken down, who can get roasted on on top. He can get submitted. We saw him. He's been submitted 3 times in his career. All his losses are by submission. So he definitely has a deficiency on the ground. And Khabib is the best on the ground. I want this fight to happen so much. I really, it'd be a tragedy if this fight doesn't happen.
It's a brilliant fight, and the funny thing about it is you'll have fans of Khabib saying that it's going to be an easy win for him, and you'll have fans of McGregor saying it's going to be an easy win for him, and both of them could be right depending on how it plays out. Yeah. But it's definitely not it's a really interesting one. Khabib, would he be more? I know he's relentless and he's quick to go for the takedown, but would he be even more quick to go for the takedown against Conor, knowing that Conor has shown this knockout power in the past? Maybe he would. Maybe he'd go full Ben Askren on it, or Cain Velasquez in the second JDS fight. Maybe that would be his strategy, and he just knows that if he gets one takedown, it changes the fight. So it's very interesting. It's really, really interesting. But I think maybe thinking about it, the Ferguson fight is a safer one for the UFC due to Khabib's weight issues as well. Like one, like he didn't even make 155, did he? He made 156. He couldn't get that last pound off the last time against Tony Ferguson. So I think that's kind of put Khabib back a little bit, but maybe if the pay-per-views come in unexpectedly high, that would change that, and they take the risk of Khabib and his weight.
Yeah. There's so much in this fight, and in this what fight is going to happen, but yeah, at the moment, God, I find it hard to call it, to be honest. I really don't know. I think you said Tony there earlier. I still think the GSP fight is the fight that's going to happen just because of what McGregor did last.
GSP could be out for a while though, couldn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think he just kind of said that to get away from the middleweight. He definitely has an injury and the disease and all, but I think
if the big money came along, he'd be okay to fight through.
Yeah, I think a lot of it as well was putting on the weight to get up and to keep eating and like that. And when you're such, he's been an unbelievably clean eater, disciplined guy. That's what GSP is like. That's what the greatness is in him, is his discipline. And I think him having to be disciplined in a different way, having to consume more stuff, that's not good for your body. you know, I know myself, like when you change your fucking eating habits and stuff, it kind of fucks you up and your stomach and everything. That's probably what happened to GSP. And I'd say if he goes back to normal, maybe, you know, tweaks things around again, he can get through that. Now, I'm no doctor, obviously, but I think if he needs to, he can get in for that McGregor fight. But all of those, it's weird because, right, if you're looking at, say, maybe McGregor's preferences or money preferences, you know, as I listed him earlier, GSP number one, whatever, you know, Woodley Khabib maybe number two, then Tony, you know, and Nate as well, obviously in there as well. But like from my preferences, I'd probably go Khabib number one, maybe Tony number two, GSP number three, and then maybe Nate and Woodley after that, possibly. But there's just so many great fights there, and
yeah, it's really hard to speculate about what's going to happen with Conor next, because we've learned over the years it's very unpredictable. The UFC seems like there's negotiations going on. They're trying to get a new deal done. That's going to be a big part of it as well. So it's very hard to know what's going to happen and when it is Conor is going to return. Bring
him up there. Go on. See, can we get him?
If he even does return, like is it 100% he returns? I don't think so, but I'd say it's definitely more than likely. But I'd say there's a small chance he doesn't, but I'd be surprised.